funding for New York and for every place comes through the White House. And I'm very generous, and I was always very generous with New York, even when you had opposition there, but I was always very generous. But I wouldn't be generous to a communist, a guy that's going to take the money and throw it out the window, because you're talking about hundreds of billions of dollars. And we're not going to let somebody get into office and squander the taxpayer money from this country. We're not going to let it happen.
This should absolutely be the policy of Zohran Mamdani. Zorro, the doofus who is a commie. Zorro, he will destroy NYC. This should, without a doubt, be the policy if Zohran Mamdani becomes the next mayor of New York City. Not only because I don't want my federal tax dollars supporting the utopian dreams of an Islamist, but KC Zorro's not an Islamist, he's a democratic socialist. Yeah, and Leah Thomas is a beautiful woman. I don't want my tax dollars supporting an Islamist. But there's also another reason that the Trumpers should eliminate federal funding to New York City. If Zohran Mamdani wins, no one will be living there. Do you guys remember last year, and this happened in 2015, 2016 too? Remember last year when woke celebrities and their pretend friends in the mainstream media were threatening to leave the country if Donald Trump was elected? Lonely men like Keith Olbermann, KTB, Meg Rapinoe, Al Baldwin, some dork named John Legend, who was legendary in high school for his unique ability to hold his breath underwater as his head was being dunked into the toilet. According to Andrew Tate, these celebrities, they were willing to make the dreams of normal people come true by leaving the country if Donald Trump was elected. Unfortunately, at least to my knowledge, the only celebrity who followed through on their promise to leave was Rose O'Donnell. Keith Olbermann is still here, and by some miracle, he's yet to be institutionalized. Meg Rapinoe continues releasing episodes of her podcast that no one, and I mean no one, is watching. Besides Rose O'Donnell, the vast majority of these celebrities who threaten to leave, they are still living here in America. I wonder why. According to the New York Post, that will not be the case if Zohran Mamdani becomes the next mayor of New York City. Well, Casey, which celebrities are threatening to leave? To my knowledge, none of them are threatening to leave publicly, but I'm sure they will be leaving. In this case, it's normal people planning to leave. From 2020 to 2023, New York City lost 6% of its population. Now, that alone is a massive decline. It's too expensive to live there, and most people just aren't willing to pay $8,000 a month for a closet-sized apartment, and every time they walk out their front door, they see people protesting, waving Palestinian flags. For years, crime has been out of control in New York City. If Zohran Mamdani gets elected, it could be significantly worse. Now, I am no expert in law enforcement, but I'm pretty sure crime rises when the mayor is promising to empty Rikers Island. Rich people, the upper middle class, normal people with options, they're not going to tolerate it. They're not going to pay exorbitant rent prices to live in a communist dump. The question is, if the people with money leave, and if the Trumper refuses to fund Zorro's socialist dreams, who will be left to take care of the welfare collectors? Who will be left to fund Zohran Mamdani's communist dump? Make sure to like and subscribe. You can follow me on Twitter at KC_BTL84. So I want to get to the sponsor for today's video, my good friends at Farwell's Fine Woodworking. Believe it or not, Christmas is right around the corner. While it's somewhat easy to buy gifts for the kids, as you get older, it gets harder and harder to find good gifts for adults. In my experience, the best gifts for adults are the gifts that are given with thought. And what could be more thoughtful than one-of-a-kind, handcrafted kitchenwares from Farwell's Fine Woodworking? This is a family-owned business where each cutting and charcuterie board are handmade and built to last for generations. Now, unlike plastic boards, which can release microplastics into your food, boards from Farwell's Fine Woodworking, they are made from natural hardwood, and they're finished with non-toxic oils and board butter that will protect and nourish the wood. And they are 100% safe for your food. No chemicals, no plastics, just the beauty of real wood made safe for your family and your kitchen table. Choose craftsmanship, choose health, and choose something that is handmade, not by machine. By clicking the link in the description below, use my promo code BTL10, BTL10. Receive 10% off your first purchase with Farwell's Fine Woodworking. Headline at the New York Post. Nearly 1 million New Yorkers ready to leave New York City if Zohran Mamdani becomes mayor. Credit where credit is due. I guess Zohran Mamdani will actually fulfill one of his campaign promises. Zorro promised to control rent prices. He promised to make it affordable to live in New York City. And it will damn sure be affordable because no one with money will be living there. Once people who can afford to pay these exorbitant rent prices leave, the rent prices will magically decline. According to the New York Post, this could be the largest exodus of an American city in American history. 9% of New Yorkers are claiming that they will definitely leave if Zohran Mamdani is elected mayor. If that actually happens, the numbers would be equivalent to the population of Washington, D.C., Seattle, or Las Vegas. It would be like waking up tomorrow morning and no one was living in Washington, D.C. Another 25% said they would consider leaving if Zorro is elected. That potentially means another 2 million people could leave New York. Even if it's half that number, hell, even if it's 25% of that number, when you combine it with the 9% that are claiming they're definitely leaving, you're talking about a massive population decline, which means a massive decline in revenue. People making over $250,000 a year, 7% threatening to leave. Unsurprisingly, older people are leading this mass exodus. People between the ages of 50 and 64, 12% definitely leaving, 33% considering it. If this happens, there will be no need for the Trumper to send federal funding to New York City because, like I said, no one will be living there. But KC, who will support the welfare collectors? Who will support the people who can't find a job? I guess they'll have to rely on Zorro. He's promising to give them everything for free. Of course, gonna be incredibly difficult to do that when the people responsible for generating that revenue are living elsewhere. In that case, I guess Zohran Mamdani will have to tell the remaining population living in New York City to stop polishing the turd and start polishing their resume. This is a potential disaster. If I had to guess, New York City will also see a major decline in tourism. Me personally, I was planning to take my family to New York City soon. Even though my wife was born in upstate New York, she's never been to the city, so I was going to take them to the Garden to see a Knicks game, 9/11 Memorial, Central Park, Times Square, typical tourist stuff. But there's absolutely no way I'm taking my wife and my teenage daughter to New York City if Zohran Mamdani is the mayor. According to Axios, 67% of Democrats are frustrated with their own party. Only 16% are proud to be Democrats. Obviously, this is not surprising. What the hell's there to be proud of? Democrats are the party of men pretending to be women. Woke women are increasingly bitter because no self-respecting man will submit to their feminism. No self-respecting man is willing to marry a woman who claims to be a boss. The remaining women in the Democratic Party, they're choosing to identify as they. The new leaders of the Democratic Party are Bernard Sanders, AOC, LGBT, and potentially Zohran Mamdani. Between the three of them, they have 154 years of life experience. In those 154 years, they have created a grand total of 0 jobs. Is it any wonder? Is it any wonder why people are abandoning the party of the donkey? You know, I hope the polls are wrong. As of this morning, Zohran Mamdani is ahead by 6 points. I hope that's not the case. This time last year, these same polls were claiming that cackling Cam Harris would beat the Trumper. Since then, Don Trump has been running the world, and Cam has been promoting some doofus book about how she's proud to be a huge embarrassing failure. For the sake of New York City, I hope the polls are wrong. But this is what happens when you lack substance. This is what happens when you don't give people hope. You don't give people something to believe in politically. For the past 10 years, the Democratic platform has been bad. They've provided no solutions. Hell, the only thing they've provided are problems. Riots, attacks on law enforcement, defunding the police, offering gender-affirming care to 9-year-olds along with their emotional support goat. Basically, for the past 10 years, the Democrats have been insane. Like I told you guys the other day, this is the perfect breeding ground for socialism or Islamism. When you lack substance for years, when you fail to provide solutions for years, the socialists are always there with their solution. And their solution is always taking money from high achievers and giving pennies to the unemployed while keeping the vast majority of that money to themselves. If Zohran Mamdani wins, the Democrats nationally are done. The party of the donkey will be finished. Sound off in the comments below. I'll see you guys later.